The International Festival of Arts and Ideas is created and produced on the traditional lands of the Mohegan, Mashantucket Pequot, Eastern Pequot, Schaghticoke, Golden Hill Paugussett, Niantic, and the Quinnipiac, in the land we all call home, Connecticut. We hope that from wherever you are, you take a moment to acknowledge and honor the native people whose land you are on and the history of the place you are in.
The International Festival of Arts and Ideas stands in solidarity with Black and Brown communities and other groups who are targeted and abused by unjust systems of oppression. We support all movements working to decenter white voices and dismantle white supremacy. We are actively seeking to dismantle systemic racism, and we raise our voices with those in our community who are already engaged in this vital work. We commit to working alongside you to create transformative change in New Haven and in our global community.
Hello? Hello? Hey, everybody! How are you? Looking good out there. Happy Juneteenth! Woo! Yes, 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 yes. Yes, thank you everyone for being here and celebrating with us, and I hope you're enjoying your day and the weather is beautiful. Yes, I am Miss Hanan Hameen. I am the founder of the Artsucation Academy Network and the co-founder of the official Juneteenth Coalition of Greater New Haven. And we are proudly celebrating our 9th annual Juneteenth celebration. Technically, this is our 10th year having a Juneteenth event, but the first year, we celebrated community on Juneteenth. And that was 2013 in a little tent on the other side of that flagpole. And if you notice on that flagpole, you see something new up there? Anybody see something new on that flagpole? What wasn't there before? The Juneteenth flag, yes. Yesterday morning, we raised the first ever Juneteenth flag for the city of New Haven. Yes. So we are very proud to be a part of that historic moment for New Haven. And today we are bringing to you our favorite tradition, our elder honoring. And for our elder honoring, we look for people who have dedicated their lives to the community, who have sacrificed and gone above and beyond the call of duty to help, to uplift, to empower. And we're going to hear a little bit more about who our elders are. We are inviting some of our elders. For those of you who tuned in virtually for the past 2 years, thank you so much. We have some of our elders that we've honored here today. And we have one of our new elders that we are honoring, as well as our new Mantle awardees. And I want to keep it short because we're going to talk a little bit later, but I want to have our elders To elders, you may take your honorable seats. Yes, give them a hand as they come out. And as they're taking their seats, I would like to introduce who you're about to see. We are the keepers of the Culture Performing Arts Company. And as we are celebrating Juneteenth full circle, you are witnessing a full circle. You are witnessing Mama Patricia Di Asante, who was my dance teacher when I was in high school, and also dancing with us is Raina Pell, who is my student. So you're seeing 3 generations of dance together on this stage as we come together to honor our elders. So without further ado, I'll wait for our elders. And before I go to the next thing, first, elders, do we have your permission to continue? Thank you. And now, without further ado, we present to you our elders honoring ceremony. Thank you.
Happy Juneteenth, New Haven, once again. The Elder Honoring is an annual tradition and trademark of the Juneteenth Coalition of Greater New Haven. Each honoree is selected to be part of the revered ceremony that recognizes the work, accomplishments, and dedication of unsung members of the Black community. Such persons usually go undetected, unappreciated, and unrecognized by the very people they serve and fight for. We, the JCGNH, honor them, put them on a pedestal that they deserve to be placed upon, and pronounce their position of eldership. The Elder Honoring Ceremony is founded and hosted by Hanan Hameen, my daughter, of the Artsucation Academy Network. We honor them, we revere them, we thank you for your work, and we have many elders that we've honored, at least 15 since we've been doing these ceremonies. Again, my daughter had said this is the 10th. And we have Hank Bolden, an atomic veteran. He was a guinea pig during the nuclear experimentation. Many of you may know him. Raise your hand if you know Hank Bolden, or just clap for Hank Bolden. Atomic veteran. Byron Breland, athlete. Community leader. Role model for so many young people. And his dad, by the way, they're making a film about his dad in the Tyler Perry Studios. Elise Brown, Black Panther Party, Black Power! That's a sister! Mama Elise Brown. Our warriors, these are our warriors. We want to always remember them and continue the legacy. And the brother on the end with the largest, the longest staff is Elder Ben Haith. He created and designed that Juneteenth flag, the flag that we see that is worldwide now. So we honor him. We honor the legacy of him. And we thank him so very much. Asante, Asante, Asana. He's a member and a consultant for the National Juneteenth Observance Foundation, and we are an affiliate of that organization, which is why we say we are the official Juneteenth Coalition, because we partner with them, we follow their mandates. They have set the standard for the way that Juneteenth should be celebrated, that it needs to be celebrated. It's mainly about education and controlling the narrative. There's so many myths about Juneteenth. Slavery ended June 19th, 1865. Who believes that? Who believes that? Because it did not happen. So let's continue the research. I don't want to take it into another level, but it's just about controlling the narrative, like I said, educating yourselves, becoming experts about your history, knowing who you are, and connecting the dots, because this means something. This means something. This holiday that some people say, we didn't ask for that. Since 1865, we asked for it. And we got it. And the leader of the National Juneteenth Coalition has passed. He was not able to see the fruits of his labor, but for 27 years in 43 states, he went to every state legislator and was able to knock on the doors, have a relationship with them. He had directors and planners and dedicated people who worked with him. They still don't give up. They're having a meeting today. NJOF is in my phone, letting me know when the meetings are. And we're having one right now. They're serious people, experts in what they do, and some of them are the survivors of what happened to their families, what happened in their own lives. One member of NJOF who you may know is the grandmother of Juneteenth. Her name is Opal Lee. 96 or 97 years old now. She was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize this year for the work she did, walking the streets, marching every year to make that a holiday. She put her life on the line, just as Reverend Myers, the brother who was the president and founder of NJOF, just like he did. So I didn't know I was going to say this much, but I knew that some of this history just needed to be told. Oh, and by the way, General Order number 3. Research that. But for now, it's a symbol that we ask you to place on your doors of your churches, of your businesses, every Juneteenth. Because the enslaved learned about the Emancipation Proclamation and the General Order, actually, more specifically, from a posting of General Order number 3 that was put on the door of a black church that a reverend read to the slave. Granger did not. He did not read it to them. The black minister read it to them. So as a symbol, and after he read it, then he posted it on the door of the black church. So as a symbol of unity, everyone can do this no matter what your nationality is. Post General Order number 3 on your door to show a symbol of unity and research what it's about and make those connections. And tomorrow we'll be at Stetson talking deeper into this, further into this, and Elder Ben will be with us to have an intimate conversation. He's so anxious to tell you the story of how he designed Juneteenth, how it came to them, how it came to him. You think we'd like to have him say a little bit about it now? No? Because we have a brother, oh, by the way, Father's Day. In June 19th, 1910 was the first Father's Day for the United States. There are a lot of things, a lot of important events that happened on June 19th, and Father's Day was one of them. That's a coincidence, though. That's just a coincidence. I'm saying that because the National Juneteenth Observers Foundation has a nationwide theme, and it is Fathers, Fighters of Freedom. Fathers, Fighters of Freedom, because this is Father's Day, 2022. So we're honoring our fathers. We don't want to forget them, of course. And we have a brother, a brilliant brother, who's helping the community, Brother Eric Clemens. He has agreed to be with us today and read the proclamation that we have for our elder, Ben Haith. After that, Fathers Don't Cry will be honored as well, an anti-violence support group. So we're honoring them as well. I think I'm being told to let go of the mic. All right. Thank you. Oh, I'm Iman Ukta Hameen. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And I'm just so happy that we were able to put the flag there. And our next project is to get a Kanara on the green for Kwanzaa.
Good evening. Good evening. I have the great honor and privilege of reading the proclamation to Elder Ben Haith, the man who designed the Juneteenth flag. This is a proclamation of the City of New Haven, joining the Juneteenth Coalition of Greater New Haven in recognizing Ben Haith at the 9th Annual Juneteenth Celebration, June 19th, 2022. Whereas, the City of New Haven joins with Juneteenth Coalition at Greater New Haven in recognizing Ben Haith as part of the 2022 Juneteenth celebration. Whereas, Mr. Haith was born in Stamford, Connecticut, and started as a military man, landing in New York City to work in advertising and marketing after his tour of duty ended, after which he relocated to Boston, where he became involved in community work, activism, and advocacy. Whereas, Mr. Haith had heard of Juneteenth before as a child, but as he researched it as an adult, realized that it needed a symbol, which he created, and in 2000, he held its first flag-raising ceremony in John Eliot Square, Boston, Massachusetts. Yes, yes. Whereas, Mr. Haith's Juneteenth flag became the national symbol for expanding Juneteenth organizations like the National Juneteenth Observance Foundation, NJOF, which Mr. Haith remains a consultant for today. Whereas, when Juneteenth became a federal holiday in June of 2021, Mr. Haith felt it was surreal, saying it was the Spirit of God. Now, therefore, as a representative of this group, as well as being signed by the mayor of the City of New Haven, hereby recognize Ben Haith. We at the City of New Haven join with members of the New Haven community in recognizing Elder Ben Haith for his creation of the Juneteenth flag as well as his activism. In testimony whereof, I have hereunto subscribed my name and caused the symbol of the city of New Haven to be affixed. This was by Mayor Justin Elliker. His signature is on this. So congratulations, Elder Ben Haith.
Can you hear me out there? Some people have accused me of talking too loud sometimes, but I'm very honored to be here in New Haven and being a part of the spirit of Juneteenth has been something I never, ever expected. As what was said, the Juneteenth flag emanated from my childhood memory when I was down south with my mother and my brothers, and I don't think my sister was born yet, but I overheard them talking down on my Aunt Anna's farm, my mother's sister, youngest sister, in Blackstone, Virginia. And I heard the word Juneteenth. And my Aunt Anna had a husband whose name was June, and they called them Junie. So I don't know how memory functions, but decades later, I'm in Boston, and I overhear a conversation, and I hear the word again, Juneteenth. So I believe the spirit of Juneteenth caused me to go and look into what it meant, what Juneteenth was, and I did it. I didn't realize where it was going to lead me to. And it led me to designing a symbol to represent Juneteenth. And even though the flag has been successful, I realize, I'm old enough to realize, and I hope that all of you realize, that the flag represents something much larger. It represents many people who were enslaved in this country. And as was said, I worked in Boston in crime prevention, trying to reduce violence and crime in that large city. And we have experienced violence and crime throughout the country. And I believe that Juneteenth is going to bring peace to our country. And I also believe, as I look out at all of you, the people, which the Constitution and the Bill of Rights was designed for all of you and everyone in this country, that you all represent your ancestors. And I believe that is going to grow in the minds of the people in this country. That not only do you represent your ancestors, in many instances, you are your ancestors. How do you think you got here? How do you think we got here? It was because of them. And sometimes we forget, and I think Juneteenth is going to reunite us with our ancestors. And I'm talking about not only people of African descent, but all people to bring peace to this world that we live in. We don't need to be living in a world where we have weapons of mass destruction that can destroy humanity. See, I tell people, in the last 2 weeks, I've been to Philadelphia, I've been to Hartford. I tell people that we need to think of Juneteenth in terms of bringing peace to humanity. And I know what I was going to say. How could I forget Whoopi Goldberg when she was criticized this year for saying something about man's inhumanity to man? Well, some of us have heard that before, but we need to pay attention to that. I think Whoopi Goldberg said something that we all need to get together and bring peace to this world and stop the madness that is going on in our country. We can't have our children going to school, trying to learn so that they can grow up to be citizens, to make this a better country, a better world. We can't have them going to their schools and worrying about their lives. We can't have their parents worrying about their lives. These children who have been victims in Texas, in Columbine, in Newtown, in other schools in Oxford, the people that went shopping for groceries in Buffalo, New York, this has to stop. And if our Congress can't stop it, then we of humanity must stop it. We must find a way to end it, even if it means not sending our children to school anymore. Well, keep them, send them to churches and other institutions to learn. We need to force some of these states who still have philosophies that go back to the Civil War, who want to hold on to their weapons for the wrong reasons. The world has changed. Our ancestors brought us here. It's the same planet we live on, but we live in a different time. And the Spirit wants us to bring peace to this world. And Juneteenth wants us to do the same thing. So I'll end it there because they accused me in Philadelphia of rambling. So thank you again.
Powerful words, powerful story, powerful elder. And while we acknowledge our elders for all the work that they have done that often goes unacknowledged, which is why we started this ceremony, we also started a ceremony called the Mantle Awards, where we acknowledge those of the younger generations who are doing the work now to keep them encouraged and to make it so they don't have to wait until they become elders to get that acknowledgement. And I was the first awardee. Now, normally, I'm going to share a little bit. Normally, our ceremony is a surprise. Normally, they don't know what's happening. We perform, then we go in the audience and bring them on the stage, and we have to make up a story while they're here. Sometimes we tell them they're hosting or all kinds of stuff, right? But because of course, given the current climate and what's going on health-wise, we want to make sure that people were aware that they were coming. So normally this is a surprise. But our Mantle Award this year, going along with the theme of fathers, fighters of freedom, we looked for fathers who are here in the community now doing this work. And we found a group of fathers, a group of men who found each other through unfortunate circumstances, but were able to turn that around and make it into something beautiful. and that group is Fathers Cry Too. Excuse me, sorry. When I dance outside, my throat gets dry. but yes. But we have one member of the group. There are 4 members, and one of the members of the group, Sean Reeves, he was a part of the founding coalition. He is from Sport Academy with Ed Trimble, so he's from the founding coalition. But we have Thomas Daniels here today, and we would like to recognize him and on behalf of his entire group. If you would like to join me, I would like to present you with your proclamation and the proclamations of the members of your group. Proclamation of the City of New Haven. Joining the Juneteenth Coalition of Greater New Haven in recognizing Thomas Daniels at the 9th Annual Juneteenth Celebration, June 19th, 2022. Whereas the City of New Haven joins with the Juneteenth Coalition of Greater New Haven in recognizing Thomas Daniels as part of the 2022 Juneteenth celebration. Whereas Mr. Daniels was born and raised in New Haven and is an advocate against gun violence, as well as a case manager at Project More Incorporated. Whereas Mr. Daniels tragically lost his son, Thomas Lamar Daniels Jr., in 2009 to a violent crime, as well as 2 of his close friends losing their sons, Keith Richards losing his in 2006, and Charles Clark losing his in 2008. Whereas Mr. Daniels realized that men facing such tragic events did not have a healthy outlet for their grief, and in 2010 decided to create a support group called Fathers Cry Too. Whereas Fathers Cry Too is a peer therapy support group for fathers who have lost a child or children to gun violence, with a mission to provide a safe place for fathers, as well as provide a wide range of resources and to debunk the myth that Black men are desensitized to or prone to violence. Now, therefore, do I, as mayor of the City of New Haven, hereby recognize Thomas Daniels. We at the City of New Haven join with members of the New Haven community in recognizing Thomas Daniels for his creation of the support group Fathers Cry Too, and the work he has done to support grieving fathers. In testimony whereof I have hereunto subscribed my name and caused the seal of the City of New Haven to be affixed, dated at New Haven, Connecticut, this 19th day of June in the year 2022, signed by Mayor Justin Elliker. Here I present to you your proclamation. Thank you. If you have words to say, feel free.
I stand here humbled and gracious. First of all, happy Father's Day to the fathers. I didn't get into this work to get any awards or applause, but it does feel good to be appreciated. I got in this work because this is a product of my pain and prayer. After I did a grievance counseling, I found that there was no aftercare, not just for Black men, for men in general. And Fathers Cry Too was just an answer to my pain and prayer. And I thank you once again for your support.
So I just wanted to share one more piece of Juneteenth history about the fighters of freedom. Did you know that Galveston, Texas is an island? Galveston is on an island. And as my mother stated, right, that General Order Number 3 came about because the U.S. colored troops who were on their way to Mexico stopped in Galveston. And when they got there and they looked around, they saw our people still in bondage 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. They were on ships. Then they got back on those ships and they went and they reported what they saw. They told the number 2 in charge and then made sure the number 1 found out. And they called him to action. And they made that general order number 3 happen. And then when they came back on those ships, those U.S. colored troops, those black men with guns got off that ship and said, y'all free. So nobody gave us our emancipation. Our black men freed us. That was never an issue that we had in the black community. We never had an issue with our men not coming back. That's how we survived. Because our family unit was strong. We had strong fathers, strong mothers, strong parents, strong families, which created strong villages and strong communities and a strong nation. That's why we were unable to be stopped. That's why we are here today. It was the fathers who went back. Those colored troops, our black men, went back armed to make sure that we were all emancipated. So I wanted to make sure that that history was told and shared, because it wasn't some savior that came and did that. We did that for ourselves. And we can do it again and again and again and again and again. And it was at least about 10,000 of them. Picture it. 10,000 black men with guns on boats. So this is our history. This is who we are. And this is why we are honoring our fathers, not just today because it's Father's Day, but every day we have to honor and uphold our black men. So on that note, I would like to give a last honor to our new members of our New Haven Council of Elders. And I would like to put a working call to anyone who is interested in being a working part of our coalition, because it's not about one person. It's a coalition for a reason, because it takes a unit to make this happen. It takes a collective to make this happen. We started out in 1 tent. That wasn't and us now ended up here with the 4-day event. That was not by accident. That was by collective work and responsibility. That was by cooperative economics. So as we help our elders off the stage, please let's give them a hand for all the work that they've done. And make sure that you honor and acknowledge all your elders and elders in the community. And if you know of any unsung heroes who have been doing the work, please reach out to us and let us know so we can make sure that they do get their honors and their flowers while they are here. Because that is why we are here. And as they're exiting, as you saw us genuflect for the elders, we do that in honor to lower our heads, to acknowledge the honor, the knowledge and the wisdom that they have. That is why we do that. So with that being said, thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed our elder honoring. I hope that you learned. Anybody learn something new about Juneteenth today? Yes. And that red, white, and blue, that flag, that star represents that new horizon, the new beginning. That arc represents the new horizon. The blood, the red, the blood that was shed, that red, white, and blue is there because we were enslaved Africans, but we still are Americans. This is still our country. This is still our land. This is still our nation, and we belong. So that's why those colors are there. Red, black, and green is Marcus Garvey Back to Africa movement. That's something different. So I just want to make sure that is clear. We are here to educate. We are here to entertain. We are here to artsucate. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. And join us tomorrow at Stetson Library from 2 to 5 for our Africa is Me, drumming, dancing. We're going to have Elder Ben Haith. We're going to have a drill team, a mini parade, and so much more. A puppeteer. So please join us. It's for the whole family, from the babies to the grandparents, everybody. So thank you so much. And enjoy the rest of your show. Stay tuned for Gregory.